These viral talking objects videos are pulling in millions of views, and the best part is that they are easy to create. In this video, I'll show you the full workflow step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to make your first video today. Just look at this page. It got millions of views. So let us start on this niche first. After that, I will tell you about another niche that is 10 times stronger than this one. Why this works. The talking objects format exploits a gap between what the viewer expects and what they get. A frying pan, a chair, a coffee mug. Objects so ordinary they register as background noise in daily life. The moment one of those objects develops a personality, starts complaining, or delivers a monologue about its existence, the viewer's brain experiences a kind of delighted confusion. The object is familiar. The behavior is completely wrong. That collision produces exactly the kind of involuntary attention that short-form content depends on. What makes this niche particularly sustainable is that the variable is infinite. Every object is a different character with different complaints, different desires, different comedic potential. A frying pan experiences the world differently than a television remote. A doormat has a completely different set of grievances than a ceiling fan. The format never runs out of material because the world is full of objects that have never been given a voice, and each one of them is a video. Before opening ChatGPT, spend a moment on the most important creative decision in this entire workflow: which object to build the video around. This choice determines everything that follows, and most creators make it randomly when they should be making it strategically. Step 1. Generate your image prompts and script. Open ChatGPT. Go to the document in the description and copy the prompt. Paste it into ChatGPT, then type the name of the object you want. Send. What ChatGPT returns is two things simultaneously: a set of image prompts and a complete script for the object to speak. The image prompts describe the object in a series of different visual contexts, different angles, different lighting, different emotional states communicated through posture or environment. The script is the voiceover and dialogue the characters will deliver across those scenes. Before moving to image generation, read the script carefully. The strongest talking object videos share a specific quality. Every character has a consistent personality, and the story itself feels like it is moving forward with a clear direction. Each object should sound like the same character every time it speaks, with the same worldview, emotional tone, and comedic style. If any line feels like it belongs to a different character, or if the tone suddenly changes without a reason, ask ChatGPT to revise that line for consistency before moving forward. Also evaluate whether the full video has a clear emotional or story arc. The best scripts in this format don't just introduce several funny objects randomly, they build gradually. Each character should add something to the situation, raise the tension, reveal a new detail, or push the story toward a stronger ending. That progression is what makes the viewer feel the video was worth watching, rather than just amusing while it lasted. Step 2. Generate your images in Google Labs Flow. Open Google Labs Flow, create a new project, select vertical aspect ratio, and set output to 4 images per generation. Copy your first image prompt from ChatGPT, paste it in, and generate. When evaluating the 4 results, you're looking for one quality above everything else. Does this image communicate the object's personality without any words? The best images in this format are visually expressive in a way that makes the viewer immediately understand the character before a single line of script has been heard. A frying pan that looks exhausted and slightly resentful in its composition is already funny before it speaks. A coffee mug that looks desperately eager is already charming. If none of the 4 results communicate personality, the prompt needs revision. Ask ChatGPT to add more specific descriptors about the emotional state you want the object to convey. Not just what the object looks like, but what it feels like. Phrases that describe facial expression. Equivalent qualities in inanimate objects. The angle of a handle that reads as defensive. The positioning of a lid that reads as suspicious. Produce significantly more expressive results than prompts that simply describe the object's physical appearance. Repeat for every image prompt. Download the strongest result from each generation and keep them organized in a numbered folder that matches the sequence of the script. Step 3. Generate your video scenes in Google Labs Flow. Switch Google Labs Flow to video generation mode. Set output to 1 per generation. Go back to ChatGPT and copy the first section of the script. Paste it into the generation field. Before sending, add the emotional state you want the object to perform in this scene. Angry, excited, exhausted, smug, desperate, whatever fits the moment in the script. Upload the corresponding image into the start field and generate. The emotional state instruction is what separates talking object content that feels genuinely performed from content that feels like text floating over a moving image. When the generation model has a specific emotional register to work with, the resulting motion reflects that emotion in a way that makes the object feel like it's actually delivering the line rather than simply existing while the line plays. Evaluate each clip against one standard. Does the object look like it's experiencing the emotion described in the corresponding script line? If the clip feels emotionally neutral or mismatched with the script, regenerate with a more specific emotional instruction before moving forward. The performance quality of each clip is what makes or breaks this format. Technically competent but emotionally flat content loses viewers at exactly the moment the script is delivering its most important lines. Repeat for every section of the script. Download each approved clip and keep them organized sequentially. Step 4. Edit in CapCut. Open CapCut, create a new project, and import all your clips. Talking object content works best when several short clips are assembled into one complete short, rather than treated as separate 8-second clips. Place all your clips in the timeline in sequence. The editing priority in this format is continuity of character and story. Watch the full assembled edit as a viewer and ask yourself whether each object's personality feels consistent and whether the story flows naturally from one clip to the next. Any moment where a character suddenly feels different, where the emotional register of the clip doesn't match the script, or the scene feels disconnected from the clips around it, can break the viewer's investment in the video. Pay attention to the transitions between clips. Abrupt cuts that shift an object's position, angle, or relationship to the scene too dramatically can create a disorienting effect that reminds the viewer they're watching a constructed video. Smooth transitions that maintain spatial consistency help preserve the illusion of a consistent cast of characters moving through one continuous story. This is the final video.
I'm not non-stick magic forever! You stab me with forks, burn me with high heat, then blame the eggs! I was made to flip pancakes, not survive lava. You leave me on the pan like I'm immortal rubber. One more second and I become kitchen chewing gum. I stirred one sauce and came back smelling like garlic forever. You never wash me fast enough.
Now I taste like soup, curry, and emotional damage.
You say just a pinch, then shake me like I owe you money. Now the chicken tastes like the oat.
Export at 1080p. Niche 2, Topiary videos. Why this niche is 10 times stronger. Topiary content, large-scale living sculptures carved from hedges and trees into animal and architectural forms, pulls numbers that most creators never approach. Some videos in this niche have crossed 100 million views, not because the content is shocking or emotionally provocative, but because it triggers something that's genuinely rare in short-form content. Sustained visual awe. Topiary is visually spectacular in a way that doesn't require any additional context. The viewer doesn't need to know anything about plants or landscaping to understand that what they're seeing is extraordinary. A hedge sculpted into a perfect life-size elephant or a dragon with intricate scale detail is immediately recognizable as something that required exceptional skill and significant time to create. That recognition produces an automatic response. The viewer wants to keep looking because the image rewards sustained attention in a way that most content doesn't. The AI-generated version of this content takes that visual quality and amplifies it. When AI generates topiary, it produces structures that exist beyond what's physically achievable. Scales more intricate, proportions more dramatic, environmental integration more perfect than any human sculptor could produce. The result is content that looks like the world's most extraordinary topiary garden, rendered at a quality level that makes it genuinely difficult to look away. Step 1. Generate your animal and prompts. Open ChatGPT, go to the document in the description and copy the full topiary prompt. Paste it in and send without modifications. ChatGPT will return a list of animal names. Cross-reference the list against the 2-quality filter, unmistakable silhouette, and dramatic physical features, and choose the animal that scores highest on both. Type your choice and send. ChatGPT will return 5 image prompts and 5 scene prompts. Keep them clearly separated and organized before moving to generation. The image prompts go to the image generation phase, the scene prompts go to the video generation phase, and mixing them up creates problems that are tedious to untangle mid-production. Step 2. Generate your images in Google Labs Flow. Open Google Labs Flow, set the mode to image generation, select vertical aspect ratio, and set output to 4 per generation. Copy your first image prompt, paste it in, and generate. When selecting from the 4 results, you're evaluating for scale, precision, and environmental integration simultaneously. Scale means the topiary should look genuinely imposing, large enough that the surrounding garden feels intimate by comparison. Precision means the hedge texture should look dense and perfectly maintained, with the animal form unmistakable from the composition. Environmental integration means the topiary should feel like it belongs in the space around it, not placed into a garden, but grown from it, with the surrounding landscaping responding to and complementing its presence. Evaluate the lighting in each result as well. Topiary content performs best when the light source creates strong sculptural shadow across the hedge surface. Light that reveals the 3-dimensional form of the sculpted animal rather than flattening it. Side lighting and golden hour lighting produce the most dramatic results. Flat overhead lighting flattens the sculpture and reduces its visual impact significantly. If the strongest compositional result has weak lighting, regenerate with a prompt revision that specifies the lighting direction and quality you want before downloading. For the reference image technique, when generating your second image, upload the first image as a reference in the start field before generating. Continue this pattern. Each new image uses the previous one as a reference through all 5 images. This forces visual consistency across your entire image set and makes the 5 images feel like a single tour through one extraordinary garden rather than 5 disconnected locations. Download the strongest result from each generation before moving to the video phase. Step 3. Generate your scenes in Google Labs Flow. Switch to video generation mode. Set output to 1 per generation. For your first scene, upload the first image into the start field and the second image into the end field. Go back to ChatGPT and copy the first scene prompt. Paste it in and generate. The start and end image combination is what makes topiary video generation produce results that look genuinely cinematic. By giving Veo 3.1 both a starting frame and an ending frame, you're defining the visual journey the camera takes between 2 specific moments. The generation fills in the motion between those 2 points, rather than inventing its own trajectory. The result is footage that feels deliberately composed rather than randomly generated. For your second scene, change the start field to the second image and the end field to the third image. Paste the second scene prompt and generate. Continue this pattern through all 5 scenes. Each scene begins where the previous one ended, creating a visual flow that moves the viewer through the topiary space in a single continuous journey. Download each approved clip and organize them sequentially. Step 4. Edit in CapCut and add music. Open CapCut, create a new project, and import all 5 clips. Place them in the timeline in the order they were generated. The start and end image technique has already built a visual journey into the sequence, and that journey should be preserved rather than reordered. Watch the full sequence before touching anything. You're evaluating whether the camera movement across all 5 clips feels like a single, continuous tour. If any clip breaks the spatial logic of the journey, if the camera appears to jump to a position that doesn't follow naturally from where it was in the previous clip, that's a moment worth regenerating before the edit is finalized. Google Labs Flow sometimes generates ambient audio directly into the video clips. If your clips already contain sound, evaluate whether that audio enhances the visual or works against it. Natural ambient sound, wind through hedges, birdsong, the subtle acoustic quality of a formal garden deepens the immersive quality of the content significantly. If the generated audio feels wrong or is absent, add music from Epidemic Sound or YouTube's audio library. Search for something calm and grand, music that communicates the scale and craftsmanship of the topiary without drawing attention to itself. Set the volume so the audio fills the space without competing with the visual. The topiary is the centerpiece. Everything else exists to serve it. This is the final video. Export at 1080p, and mark as AI generated when you upload. Now, if you want not just 5 or 10 other niches, but literally over 1,000, join the Comfortable Money Club community. There, you'll find the 100-day challenge to build a successful faceless channel, over 1,000 faceless niches, and in-depth weekly reviews of the top 3 most active members' channels, and much more. The price is going up soon as more members join. If you get in now, you lock your price forever. It will never increase for you, only for future members. You can find the link in the description,